Winning a major is a career breakthrough for any pro, but for some it can be something of a millstone around the neck. Since his stirring victory at Augusta National in 2016, Danny Willett has struggled to live up to his new introduction as a Masters champion. This year he's changed both his caddy and coach and is now working with Tiger's former swing guru Sean Foley. Anna caught up with Danny at the recent Andalucia Valderrama Masters for a chat.
Danny, it seems like 2017, you've got a baby on the way, you've got your best mate on the bag. There are some really positive things coming for you towards the end of the year, would you say?
Yeah, it's been a nice turnaround, I guess. We were obviously struggling a lot, middle of the season especially, and obviously went to Foals, and the swing stuff, the changes that we're doing is a lot better, and it's actually a lot more enjoyable to play golf, to see the ball flights that I'm hitting again.
Yeah.
And then off the golf course, obviously it's we've got baby number 2 coming in December, and little man's growing up quick, and everything off it's been really good. Unfortunately at times the stuff on it affects the stuff off it, and you're a bit grumpy because you're not playing well, but get everything into perspective, which obviously we're out here playing golf for a job, which is obviously fantastic, and I'm starting to kind of see a little bit of improvements, and the work that I'm doing is coming off. So there's a couple more events left to 2017, and then hopefully kick off 2018 strong.
Looking at your last kind of 8-9 months, I guess, from the outside, as you've mentioned, it seems like it has been a testing year, no doubt, but you've showed resilience and so much persistence, which deserves so much respect. How do you think you'll reflect on this year so far?
I think in years to come, I think you'll probably look back and appreciate having not even just a little struggle of a year, like a real struggle of a year, because there's a lot of guys, who fortunately enough go through golf and they never really have a real big dip, but there are quite a lot that actually have the big dips and then come out better. And then I think you see them then when they get older and mature more, I think they use that, the bad times that they had to kind of feed off and say, actually, it's not that bad. I've been at bad. I know what bad is.
Yeah.
Kind of then you can go, well, it's actually all right. And you look at, just to name a couple, you look at Westy, obviously dropped down to 3 or 400 in the world, got back to number 1. Sergio obviously wasn't enjoying the game, came back. I think this kind of this event kick-started his career again 6 years ago. Stenson obviously fell down and got all the way back up. It's, it kind of ebbs and flows within golf. It's a tricky old game, and when you're trying to juggle so much stuff on and off the golf course, playing so much around the world, trying to play well, trying to compete, the stresses build up, and you're going to have bad times. So hopefully, further down the line, we can look back and you can, like I said, you can use these things, and actually, I think it gives you a great appreciation for the game and for what the guys do, week in, week out. And I think you've really got to tip your cap at the guys who play well, so often, and kind of keep things going for a prolonged career.
Yeah, well, we all know how much your life turned upside down last April, winning the Masters, an unbelievable achievement. Is it fair to say you can prepare your whole career for winning it, but nothing can prepare you for the aftermath? You
practice and you're mentally prepared to be in that situation. You're shaking, you're nervous, everything comes down to that. That is what you practice for. But then, like you say, afterwards, you're never really quite sure about how it's going to go. And I think the guys who've handled it the best are kind of the guys who've been good for a long time, and they're used to being in the spotlight. You look at Jordan's obviously been in the spotlight since he was 17, similar to Rory.
Yeah.
Them guys have been in the spotlight, Tiger, obviously, for years, and they kind of handle it better because they're used to it. And I think, we'd obviously won golf tournaments around the world and we'd play great at big golf tournaments, but it's a completely different level of expectation on yourself, what the people put on you and everything that goes with it. So yeah, it was kind of dealing with not only my own expectations of knowing what I could then achieve, but then everybody else is thinking that you're the next whatever and you're going to win the Grand Slam and this, which is obviously ridiculous these days with how good the fields are. So again, it's a learning curve, and then hopefully the next time you can win a major, you'll be able to prepare, and you kind of know what's going to come, and you can then obviously you build your schedule around that. Obviously little man came 10 days before as well, so there was a hell of a lot going on that time of year.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. I'll let you hit your second shot
and
we'll come back to you.
All right.
You just mentioned the player blog, and it was such an interesting, open, candid account of life over the last 18 months, and I think it gave everyone a really good impression of what it's been like for you. But what would you say has changed the most in terms of the way that you practice, just the way that you can be out on tour now?
Yeah, I mean, I've played that bad that actually it's got really nice and quiet again.
Not true.
It's yeah, it was more the direct aftermath. Obviously, we'd scheduled it all, me and Nick, so that Nick had Zach, and then I had 5 weeks off and could spend a bit of time at home and do nothing basically, and then keep playing the rest of the year and travel together, and you know how it goes. Obviously, we got back and it was just, it was chaos. There was obviously paparazzi all outside the house. I knew that Nick had Zach. I was obviously getting back, first European for 17 years, obviously behind Faldo 20 years later and stuff. And there was just a lot that I didn't realise how it was going to be taken back home. And I think it was bigger than what we thought it was going to be. And it was just a really chaotic few weeks. Nick's got a newborn at home. She's tired, trying to get him sorted. I'm trying to get everything else sorted, and you're asked to go here, there and everywhere, and you then start committing to events early because they obviously want you there that year, and the schedule changed probably a bit too much. I probably played a little too much because you just do, you get dragged in, and I know the sponsors all really well and the promoters of the events, and you want to go help the tournaments and make sure that they're really good.
Yeah.
And I just I got to the end of the year, I was knackered. If I wasn't so high up in the race to Dubai, I'd have probably taken the last 6-8 weeks off of the year. But being second behind Rory, you're like, well, can you take off 4 of the biggest events of the year to just relax? And in hindsight, I think at times you've got to be a bit selfish in that situation. And again, if that ever happens again, you probably will take 1 or 2 of the weeks off just to kind of put a bit of faith in yourself that if you're rested up and you know that your game's in good shape, you will perform at the right times instead of trying to play them all and grab a few euros here and there to add to your points total. If you have faith in what you're doing, and you know that if you keep working hard and rest up well, you can really make the big jumps and play really well when you need to. So. Yeah. That kind of stuff would change. And I did that blog so that it was open, so people do kind of get a taste of what happens. Obviously, my case was slightly different for a European, because it's been a while since there was obviously a Masters winner within the European Tour. So
yeah.
It was nice to just give people an insight. And it's not that it matters massively, but so that people know a little bit that you've not won a golf tournament and then you're kind of sacking it off. And obviously I'm really keen to keep in touch with sponsors and stuff and let them know that I'm working hard and really trying. But it's still nice that people realise and appreciate that you're up at 5-6 in the morning, you're in the gym, you're doing your bits, you're doing everything as good as you can, but things aren't just going how you want them to go.
Yeah.
I think it was more of an insight just as to let everyone know that that we are still here, we are still playing, we are still trying to play well and practice as hard as ever. And that, hopefully, like I said, in the next few months when things bed in and we do everything, that, we'll be back on track again.
There's no doubt that there's so much that goes into your profession that people don't see, but one thing that people did see this year was you defending the Masters title. What was that week like? The Champions Dinner, that whole occasion just must have been a real special moment. It
was. I went there struggling a little bit, which was a shame, because I really wanted to go there and just a couple of easy practice rounds and breeze your way around, the golf course really well and really enjoy the week as a whole. And because I was struggling, I ended up just saying, what, it might happen, it might not. I know I'm struggling. And then we put a lot of effort into the Champions Dinner. My wife did some bits for all the people that were there. And, to be in that room, to sit around, and you've just got an array of legends, really, you'd call them, not even people, of legends that you sat next to and you're talking to about different scenarios, and they were coming down the stretch against whoever, and how it kind of went down was a really magical evening. And to be able to host it, and obviously everything that goes with it, you get your memorabilia, and it's one of them things again that no one can take away from you. We work hard, and we have done for a long time, and that's obviously one of the benefits from working hard and from playing well, is to be able to do that. And there's not, there's 80 odd guys that have been able to do that ever.
Yeah.
And then it, you go back home and you put it in perspective, and I think it really made that moment really special to be able to host, an array of such amazing people, players, like I say, legends of the game. To have Gary and Jack stand up and say words about Arnie it was a really special moment. Obviously behind closed doors, so no cameras, no nothing, nobody knows what goes on, and it was just to hear them stories from, directly from the other players, and and how much love they had for Arnie was a really special time.
Yeah, well, just finally, because I know you've got to finish off, but
Sorry.
what are your goals for the rest of the year in 2018? Where would you love to get yourself back to?
Yeah, the rest of the year, like I said, we've got a couple of events left. That will probably be worldwide. Obviously, we've not played great over in Europe, so we may go play at some other locations around the world and just keep playing. We're actually enjoying playing again, and I know that the swing changes are slowly bedding into golf, and it's just very different on and off the golf course. On the range, it's good. Take it to the golf course, it's not as good. So for me, I want to play a couple more times, and then put the clubs down over Christmas. Obviously, Nick's due middle of December, and then have a bit of time with the new arrival.
Yeah.
And then really come out in January, and hopefully by then all the gym stuff, all the swing stuff with Foles would have bedded in a bit more, and we'll be able to then kickstart the season in Abu Dhabi. And I'm not going to set any goals for full term, but if I know in my own head that I keep progressing every day and I get back to ticking my boxes, we're doing the right things, you're eating right, you're practicing right, you're training well, the inevitability of things will turn around and will come back, and just see, just kind of see where it gets us.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time, Danny. We really appreciate it. It's not every day on Golfing World we get to walk a hole with a Masters champion, Danny Willett.